Caitlin Clark. Yes.
First time in MSG for a Knicks game, so it's pretty cool.
I know, it's her first Knicks game, first time feeling the atmosphere. We got to get you to play on this court one day.
We have to talk to Adam about that.
Can we make it mellow? Honestly, if there's someone...
Even if it's a preseason game, we got to get it done. I don't think the Liberty will want to move a game over here, but we'll play anybody.
Madison Square Garden, NBC primetime, and Caitlin Clark just casually announced she's taking over as the best shooter in Indiana history, not just women's basketball, all of Indiana. That means she's claiming she's better than Reggie Miller. And the wildest part, Melo and the entire NBC crew just nodded along like it was obvious. This wasn't some random halftime interview. This was a calculated showcase. NBC gave Caitlin Clark the full star treatment during a Knicks-Mavericks game, letting her work as an analyst, play horse against Jamal Crawford, and basically audition as the face of basketball on their network. And if you think this was just a fun crossover moment, you're missing what's actually happening here.
How could you describe maybe the atmosphere your first time in it?
Well, I think as a player, like, this is kind of when you feel the atmosphere the most, is when you're out on the court warming up. So, I mean, there's just a different type of buzz. And obviously when LeBron comes to town, it's probably really different. But, you know, Knicks fans are crazy, and I love it. I love people that are passionate about basketball. So it's pretty incredible.
All right, here go another clip. I was looking for this, man. I could not find it at all. I was cooking some chicken for the fam, and I was looking around, but I couldn't find it on Hulu.
A player or someone you watch even more specifically because there's things in...
Listen to how she's talking. She's not starstruck. She's not grateful to be there. She's analyzing the game like she belongs in that chair, talking about Luka's ability to manipulate defenders, discussing how he uses space instead of speed, breaking down technical details that most analysts wouldn't catch. This is someone who's been studying the game at an elite level, and NBC is giving her the platform to prove it. But here's what makes this significant. The WNBA season doesn't start until May. We're in February. And instead of Caitlin Clark fading from the conversation during the offseason like every other women's basketball player has historically done, she's being integrated into NBA coverage. That's never happened before at this level.
I think the way he can not only score the ball, but also the way he passes. And I think the thing about him is, like, he's not the fastest, he's not the most athletic, but he can get his defender to move where he wants him to go, and he takes up that space, and he does a really good job of either keeping the defender behind him or keeping him to the side. So I think that's something I can certainly learn from. Like, I always kind of want to run away from the defense rather than absorbing the contact and taking up the space that they give me. So I think obviously he's pretty incredible. He averages like a 30.
Now watch this exchange about playing at Madison Square Garden. She immediately pivots to business, not just saying it would be cool, but actually suggesting they make it happen. And when the interviewer pushes back about the Liberty not wanting to move a game, Caitlin doesn't back down. She says they'll play anybody. That's not politeness. That's confidence that the Fever could fill Madison Square Garden for a regular season game. Think about what that means financially. The Garden holds over 19,000 people. The Fever's home arena in Indianapolis holds 17,000. She's talking about taking a home game to New York because she knows the draw is her, not the location. That's the kind of leverage that changes contract negotiations.
Too, and not caring if you're in his face or not, you know, Caitlin the same way on that.
Year 3, the evolution of Caitlin Clark's game is what?
It's funny because I was just looking back at some old videos from when I was at Iowa, and like I can just tell how much my body's changed, but I think in a good way. Like, you have to be stronger. It's a much more physical league. So I think that, and then obviously I only appeared in 13 games last year. So more than anything, I'm just itching to get back out on the court and kind of feel like myself again. And I've been putting in a lot of hard work, and I got USA basketball coming up. So look.
And this is where it gets interesting for the WNBA. Because Caitlin just told NBC she has USA basketball coming up. Now, we know the Olympic team is already set. They're not playing until... So either she's talking about a training camp that hasn't been announced yet, or there's an exhibition series being planned that the public doesn't know about. Either way, it confirms what a lot of people suspected. USA basketball is building around Caitlin and Paige Buchek for the next Olympic cycle. The old guard, the players who've been dominating the national team for a decade, they're being phased out. And Caitlin just casually dropped that information on NBC like it was common knowledge.
Well, night in America.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, you
now
come
I get
back.
to enjoy this.
Yeah.
I mean, what's better, MSG, Sunday night?
You can put your slippers
LeBron
back on
James,
if you
let's
want.
go.
Let's go.
Wait, too.
And guess what? Hey,
I get
Caitlin's gonna come back.
Mello.
She's not going to put the mic down forever. March 29th, she's back with us in OKC, but now she gets to go and enjoy the Knicks games, and we're happy.
But the real story here isn't just that NBC gave Caitlin Clark airtime. It's how they positioned her. She wasn't treated like a guest. She was treated like talent. They gave her the desk. They gave her analysis time. They promoted her return appearance on March 29th like she's part of their regular rotation. Compare that to how every other WNBA player gets covered during the offseason. Maybe a quick feature if they're playing overseas, maybe a mention if they do charity work. But actual integration into NBA broadcasts? That doesn't happen. The networks keep the leagues completely separate, like they're afraid cross-promotion will confuse viewers.
But shout out to Reggie, man. Shout out to everybody at NBC showing love to Caitlin, man. This is the intertwine that you want to see with the NBA and WNBA. You know what I mean? Like, this is promoting everybody right here. This is getting the WNBA fans to come over and check out the NBA. If I know some people might be checking it out, some people might not, but who knows, you know? Some people probably came over, watched what Caitlin had to say, and then watched the rest of the game, you know? So this is what you want to see. You want to see both leagues working together like this, you know? It's always a beautiful thing when the men's basketball and women's basketball can collide and make this thing right here happen, man. So shout out to them on NBC. Now, this is the horse game that she played against Jamal Crawford.
Up. Some called it pig, some called it horse. It's a kid's game today. We're calling it MVC. All right, house rules are set. Who gets the first shot? You go first.
Left hand free throw.
That's crazy. Wow. This could go anywhere.
She said, that's great. Oh.
Yeah. Okay.
It really wasn't that bad.
There we go. Cash.
Knockdown.
Nope. In it. No, here's that.
He's in trouble.
Underneath the leg layup.
Underneath the leg.
Okay.
That's too easy for him.
This is some.
Oh, no.
That's the one.
Sure. No.
Oh, my goodness.
Do you believe in magic or what? I know you create some all the time.
Ooh.
This is for game.
This is for game.
All right.
There's literally 0% chance he makes this again.
Oh, my goodness.
Now let's talk about this horse game, because this is where you see the strategy. NBC didn't just have Caitlin sit courtside and wave. They put her in competition against Jamal Crawford, a three-time NBA Sixth Man of the Year, someone with serious credibility. And they filmed it like a production. Watch how this is shot. Multiple camera angles. Commentary from Mello and Tracy McGrady. Replays. This isn't some casual shoot-around they decided to film. This was planned content designed to showcase Caitlin's shooting ability to an NBA audience that might not have watched her in college or the WNBA. And look at the shots they're taking. Logo threes, one-legged fadeaways, off-the-wall bank shots. These aren't gimmicks. These are shots that translate directly to her game. She's out here proving she can shoot from NBA range, with NBA players watching on an NBA court and holding her own against a guy who played 20 seasons in the league. The message is clear. She's not just good for women's basketball. She's good at basketball, period. And NBC is packaging that message for the broadest possible audience.
First of all, there's a new shooter from Indiana. See, I'm the third best shooter in the state of Indiana now. It goes Caitlin, Tyrese, and now myself.
We'll have to get Tyrese's opinion on that. I'm not sure Tyrese would agree.
Right here, she's taking over for me right now, so thank you.
Here's what a lot of people are missing about this moment. NBC doesn't do this for WNBA players. They barely do this for NBA players during the season. Giving someone this much airtime, this much production value, this much integration into your marquee broadcasts, that's reserved for people you're building around long term. So the question becomes, what's NBC's endgame here? Because they're not doing this out of charity. They're doing this because they see value. And that value is either about the WNBA rights they already have, or it's about positioning themselves for something bigger.
Ooh, game was short.
There we go.
Oh, good shot.
Not at all. I don't like it.
Oh, no. That's game.
Game.
That's crazy.
You like to double down. Wow.
Okay.
Dang.
All right.
Okay.
One leg.
One leg. Oh, good shot. Ooh.
Tie game.
In it.
And this is where the business side gets fascinating. The WNBA's current media rights deal runs through 20. That means new negotiations are happening right now. And NBC is currently locked in a battle with ESPN and Amazon for NBA rights that could reshape the entire basketball media landscape. If NBC can prove that Caitlin Clark draws NBA-level audiences, that changes the math on what the WNBA is worth. It's not just a secondary property anymore, it's a property with a star who can anchor primetime broadcasts and drive subscriptions to Peacock. Look at what happened during her rookie season. Fever games on NBA TV averaged over 1 million viewers when she played. That's better than a lot of NBA regular season games. Games she played and set attendance records in 15 different arenas. The All-Star Games sold out in less than a day and drew 2 million viewers, the most in 22 years. Those aren't women's basketball numbers. Those are basketball numbers. And NBC is smart enough to recognize that if they can position Caitlin as a crossover star now, before the bidding war for WNBA rights gets serious, they have a competitive advantage.
I would love to see it, man. I'm going to keep my eyes out. I think it might be another training camp because they don't play until a good minute down the line. I don't know. Y'all put it in the comment section. Let me know, though. Let's see what she said in this clip right here.
I appreciate you just joining us on Basketball Night in America.
It was fun. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you
now
guys
I get to enjoy this.
Yeah.
I mean, what's better?
But here's the tension this creates. Because while NBC is elevating Caitlin to this level, there's a portion of the WNBA fan base and media that actively resents it. We saw this all through her rookie season, the constant discourse about whether she deserved the attention, the think pieces about how the league existed before her, the criticism every time someone suggested she was transcendent, and that tension is about to get worse. Because if NBC keeps featuring her like this, if they keep integrating her into NBA broadcasts and treating her like a marquee talent, it makes the gap between her platform and every other WNBA player even more obvious. And that creates resentment. We already saw hints of this during the season. The physical play she faced that went beyond normal defense, the comments from other players about media coverage, the way certain analysts would bend over backwards to diminish her accomplishments, that doesn't go away just because she's on NBC. If anything, it intensifies.
It would be Luka for me. The way that you're able to play in that open court, to see the vision that you have, to be able to shoot at the drop of a dime, to be able to pull up across half court. You keep the defensive thinking every single time, not knowing what you're going to do. And again, you have that too, and that pick and roll, keeping them in jail, and then understanding how to operate out of that. You have it. You have it. So I would agree with her and say Luka.
Yeah. Okay. What about you, man?
Okay.
And this is the part that's going to define the next few years of the WNBA. Because Caitlin Clark isn't just good enough to be the face of women's basketball, she's good enough and marketable enough to be the face of basketball, period. And that creates a choice for the league and the media. Do they embrace that and let her rise to whatever level her talent and marketability can take her, even if it means she eclipses the league itself? Or do they try to manage her ascent, keep her as first among equals, make sure the narrative stays focused on the collective rather than the individual? NBC has clearly made their choice. They're betting everything on her being a transcendent star. They're giving her the LeBron treatment, the Steph Curry treatment, the kind of platform that turns athletes into cultural icons. And they're doing it now, while she's still early in her career, so they can claim they were there from the beginning. But that puts pressure on everyone else. The other networks covering the WNBA have to decide if they're going to follow NBC's lead or push back against it. The league has to decide how much they're willing to restructure their marketing and scheduling around one player. And the other players have to decide how they're going to respond to operating in her shadow.
So this is what you want to see. You want to see both leagues working together like this, It's always a beautiful thing when the men's basketball and women's basketball can collide and make this thing right here happen, man. So shout out to them on NBC. Now, this is the horse game that she played against Jamal Crawford.
Up. Some called it pig, some called it horse. The kids' game today, we're calling it NBC. All right, house.
Now let's address the elephant in the room. That comment about being the best shooter in Indiana history. Reggie Miller is one of the greatest shooters in NBA history. 5-time All-Star, Hall of Famer, 18,000 career points, and Caitlin Clark just casually claimed she's better. Some people are going to say that's disrespectful, that she hasn't earned the right to put herself in that conversation, that comparing women's basketball to men's basketball is pointless because they're different games. But here's the thing. She didn't bring it up. The NBC crew did. They made the comparison. And instead of deflecting with false modesty, she owned it. That's the kind of confidence that makes stars. That's the mentality you need to operate at the highest level. And NBC ate it up because that's exactly the kind of content that drives engagement. Think about the conversation this creates. Every basketball fan in Indiana is now going to have an opinion on whether Caitlin Clark is better than Reggie Miller. That debate is going to happen on sports radio, on social media, in bars and living rooms across the state. And every single one of those conversations keeps Caitlin Clark in the public consciousness during the off-season. That's not an accident. That's strategy. And it's working.
Underneath the leg layup.
Underneath the leg.
Okay.
That's too easy for him.
This is some.
Oh, no.
That's the one.
No.
Oh, my goodness.
Do you believe in magic or what? I know you create some all the time.
This is for game.
This is for game.
There's literally 0% chance he makes this again.
Oh, my
That's our welcome
goodness.
to the NBC moment.
Cooking.
There we go.
Feeling it.
She knew it right away.
Problem.
Oh,
This could be a quick NBC.
wow.
Dang, not a quick one. She
The warm-up
love talking
was
that
lying,
trash.
Here's what makes this entire NBC appearance so significant. We're watching the blueprint for how women's basketball breaks through to mainstream sports coverage. Not by being segregated into its own lane. Not by being covered only by outlets that specifically focus on women's sports, but by being integrated directly into the biggest platforms in sports media. Caitlin Clark, on an NBA broadcast, isn't charity. It's not NBC doing the WNBA a favor. It's NBC recognizing that she's compelling enough, talented enough, and marketable enough to enhance their NBA coverage. That's the shift. That's what changes everything. Because once you prove that a WNBA player can add value to NBA broadcasts, you open the door for more crossover, more integration, more opportunities for players to reach audiences they never could have reached before. And that grows the entire sport. But it also creates a responsibility. If Caitlin is going to be the face of this crossover, she has to deliver. She has to keep improving. She has to stay healthy. She has to handle the pressure of being not just the best player in the WNBA, but the ambassador for the entire league to casual sports fans who might not otherwise pay attention. That's a massive burden for someone entering their third professional season. And it's a burden that comes with very little margin for error. Because if she struggles, if she gets hurt, if the Fever don't make the playoffs, the narrative will flip instantly. The same media that's building her up right now will tear her down twice as fast. So the question becomes, can she sustain this? Can she handle being the face of women's basketball, the centerpiece of NBC's WNBA coverage? And the crossover star that's supposed to bring new audiences to the sport, all while actually playing at an elite level based on what we've seen so far? The answer is yes. Her rookie season was historically good despite missing 13 games with an injury. She averaged 19 points and 9 assists. She set the rookie scoring record, she made all WNBA first team, and she did it while facing defensive schemes specifically designed to stop her in physical play that went beyond normal competition. But year 2 is different. The expectations are higher, the target on her back is bigger, and the scrutiny is going to be relentless. Every bad game will be analyzed to death. Every loss will be blamed on her. Every time she shows frustration or fatigue, it'll be used as evidence that she can't handle the pressure. And through all of that, she's going to have to navigate the politics of being the face of a league where not everyone wants her to be the face. Where some players resent the attention she gets. Where some media members are actively rooting for her to fail because they don't like what her success represents. That's the reality of being a transcendent athlete in women's sports. You don't just have to be great. You have to be great while carrying the weight of an entire sport on your shoulders. You have to be great while dealing with criticism that male athletes never face. You have to be great while knowing that your success threatens people who've built their careers on the sport being a certain way. And you have to do it all while staying focused on the actual basketball. Because at the end of the day, none of the media appearances matter if you're not performing on the court. NBC can give you all the platform in the world, but if you're not backing it up with production, it all falls apart. So far, Caitlin has handled it better than anyone could have reasonably expected. She's stayed focused, she's kept improving, she's let her game do the talking. and she's smart enough to lean into the opportunities without letting them become distraction. This NBC appearance is just the latest example. She showed up, did the work, proved she belongs, and planted seeds for future opportunities. She didn't overstay her welcome. She didn't try to do too much. She just demonstrated competence and confidence and let NBC build the narrative around her. That's how you build a brand. That's how you become more than just a basketball player. That's how you become a cultural figure. And whether the WNBA is ready for it or not, that's exactly what's happening. The question now is what happens when the season starts. Because all of this off-season content, all of this crossover appeal, all of this mainstream media attention, it all has to translate to wins. The Fever have to be good. They have to make the playoffs. They have to be competitive. Because if they're not, the narrative shifts from Caitlin Clark is elevating the sport to Caitlin Clark is all hype. And that's the risk NBC is taking by investing this heavily in her. They're betting that she's not just a media creation. They're betting that she's the real deal. They're betting that when the games matter, she's going to deliver performances that justify all of this attention. Based on everything we've seen, that's a good bet. But it's still a bet. And the stakes are higher now than they've ever been. Not just for Caitlin, but for the entire future of how women's basketball gets covered in mainstream sports media. If this works, if she becomes the crossover star that NBC is positioning her to be, it changes everything. It proves that women's basketball can coexist with men's basketball in the same media ecosystem. It proves that fans will watch both. It proves that the ceiling for the sport is higher than anyone thought. But if it doesn't work, if the backlash becomes too much, if the pressure breaks her, if the Fever can't build a competitive team around her, then we're right back where we started. Women's basketball stays in its own lane. The WNBA remains a niche product, and the next generation of players has to start from scratch trying to build mainstream appeal. That's what makes this moment so critical. We're watching the future of the sport being written in real time, and Caitlin Clark, whether she asked for it or not, is holding the pen.